morning, and welcome everyone to today's conference. My name is LaKenya Walter, and I'm the Deputy Assistant Administrator for the Policy and Outreach Division at Rural Utilities Service at USDA. I want to start by thanking CAC for having us here today and Matt Purdue for organizing this incredibly important event. I also want to acknowledge a few key USDA staff that is in attendance today. Chris Proctor, who is our Broadband Technical Assistance Branch Chief, and you'll hear from him a little later in the conference. Natalie Kovach, who is our General Field Representative, and then my colleague, State Director Julia Hnilicka, who you'll also hear following me. Again, I want to thank you all for being here today. We truly have an impressive turnout today from so many sectors, including our community leaders, our industry leaders, government officials, and more. I'm excited for this opportunity to spend a little bit of time with you guys this week and to come together to discuss the future of broadband and connecting Alaska. CAC has been a great partner with RUS, and we are grateful for their partnership, leadership in organizing this conference. We both have shared goals of expanding broadband access to rural and tribal communities and ensuring equitable connectivity. This partnership demonstrates the power of public-private partnerships and collaboration between organizations, which help amplify, impact, and foster innovative solutions. This conference represents a pivotal step in advancing discussions on the broadband deployment, adoption, and affordability in Alaska, and I'm honored to be a part of it. Developing and building partnerships between all of our organizations is critical to helping us meet our goal of 100% connectivity for everyone across our nation. With that said, I'm excited to share 3 new investments that USDA will be making in Alaska. Through our distance learning and telemedicine grant program, over $1.9 million are being made to Annette Island School District, Lake and Peninsula School District, and Inupiat Community of Arctic Slope. These investments will benefit over 1,600 students by providing the equipment necessary to offer various distance learning and telemedicine opportunities, including business courses, culinary arts, native languages, information technology, and more. So congratulations to these awardees. I'm looking forward to this week's discussion and solutions that will emerge from the conference. I want to thank CAC for their partnership and the collaboration to promote meaningful progress in broadband access. I now want to introduce to you the USDA Rural Development State Director for Alaska, Julia Hnilicka. Born and raised in rural Alaska, Julia has resided for the majority of her life in her home village of Nenana. Nenana. Okay. I told Julia, I said it's important that I pronounce things correctly. The daughter of a tugboat captain and an educator, her background instills a deep-lived understanding of the complexities of the issues facing rural residents. Her professional experience includes remote logistics, economic development, academic and environmental research, indigenous studies, politics, education, and business management. Julia's recent run for Alaska State House in the Rural Interior District activated her passion and drive for addressing the many persistent problems facing Alaska's most valuable asset, our people. She obtained her master's in rural development from the University of Alaska Fairbanks, Department of Alaska Native Studies in Rural Development. While seeking her degree, she traveled throughout Alaska, interfacing with a vast diversity of population and resources. Her decade-long workplace experience in managing successful freight logistics business on the Yukon River gives her a unique awareness of the challenges that face rural Alaska. Her primary mission is to be a positive force in Alaska's future, which drives her dedication to address the housing crisis, broadband for all, support for small businesses, and workforce development. Please join me in welcoming Julia.
Chinan, Masecho, Goiana Anabasi. Thank you all so much, and especially thank you, LaKenya. I really appreciate that warm introduction and the opportunity to be here with you all today on Indigenous Peoples Day. I'm from Nenana, as was mentioned, which is the homeland of the Lower Tanana Dene people, otherwise known as Tagatili, which is the hill above our village that means the Great One. I now reside here on Dene'ina lands because we work out in Palmer, and that is one of where our state offices are. We have a slide deck that should be, so we'll just wait 1 minute for that. As you heard, I grew up in my home community of about 300 people. And I will have to say that running a freight logistics business in the early 2000s, communication was always a huge challenge for us. We had satellite phones. That was, hi, Brittany. Sorry, guys. So we had satellite phones that we were able to contact our barge. But oftentimes, if there was inclement weather or for some reason those satellites went down, as you all know, it can be incredibly harrowing in our most remote areas all across Alaska. And so I know now with the barge services that are operating on the Yukon, they have a lot of different opportunities to remain connected, to make sure that they are able to stay safe while they are traversing the river, and also have an opportunity to talk with people who are out in our communities and be able to let them know when the barge is coming, what they should be expecting, that they can go out and they can protect their infrastructure, their goods. And it has really, really been a game changer for safety and access to infrastructure. I'm going to try to go ahead a little bit. We have some slides that, okay, are they going to? Okay, thank you. Oh, okay. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit in our slides because that's the most information I have here written out for you, and I don't want to leave you on in silence. So I want to address the Distance Learning Telemedicine Awards that we just heard about. As you heard, we are getting 3 this year, which is really exciting because these awards bring access to education and to health for so many of our rural residents who do not have the opportunity or do not want to leave their home communities. So the first investment that we have is down in the Hnilicka area, which will be used to equip 3 hub end user sites, which I don't know what that means, but people in this room probably do, with integrated interactive displays, cutting-edge video codec systems, and personal meeting devices to enhance distance learning experiences. Instructors at the Annette Island School District will be able to combat high chronic absenteeism due to travel and high teacher turnover, while continuing to deliver the school district's regular curriculum to the district's elementary, middle, and high schools, benefiting 311 students. That's huge. That's incredible. The next event, or the next award, is going to be to the Lake and Peninsula School District to equip 1 hub site and 20 hub end user sites throughout the Matsu Borough, Bristol Bay Borough, Dillingham Census Area, and Lake and Peninsula Borough in the Bristol Bay region of Alaska with distance and in-classroom learning equipment. So I think this one is really, really super exciting because the instructors at the Bristol Bay Regional Career and Technical Education will be able to deliver courses remotely to students in aviation, business, culinary arts, cultural arts, fisheries, maritime, construction, healthcare, education, and informational technology, and welding to 21 locations, benefiting 1,236 students. And when I read that description, I thought, welding, why is welding broken out? And how can they teach that remotely? So I'm looking forward to investigating that. The last award that we were able to send out to rural Alaska is to the Inupiaq community of the Arctic Slope, ICAST, which will be used to equip 2 end hub user sites in the North Slope Borough with distance learning equipment. Instructors at the Cargi Academy with the Inupiaq community of Arctic Slope Tribe will deliver traditional native language, culture, scientific, technical, engineering, mathematics, language and art, to at least 2 locations benefiting at least 80 students and rural residents with the goal of expanding student services across Alaska each year. A couple of years ago, I got really excited about learning about these awards because I didn't know that this was something that USDA Rural Development had an opportunity to do. And so Natalie Kovach had me go up to Utqiagvik, where I got to meet with the IT, Reggie Santos, the IT manager for that entire school district. And while I was up there, it was really eye-opening to me to see how impactful these programs are, because they had students. So 2 years ago, we were just kind of crawling out of the pandemic, figuring out where people would be placed, and we also knew that we had a huge teacher shortage, because oftentimes we have teachers that come from downstates or other countries, and what he was able to express to me was that because of this lack of teachers, they were really, really concerned how they were going to be able to keep students engaged. And then he brought me into the classrooms in Utqiagvik, and he showed me the owls, the computers that students are using, and then we had an opportunity to go out to Wainwright, and we got to see those classrooms and the carts that come in so that students have an opportunity. It's not ideal. It would be much better to have teachers in classrooms with our students. But the opportunity to be able to continue getting educational services while we were going through that teacher shortage really struck home for me, because that's something that we experience in my home community as well. So finally the slides are up, and I'm going to sound a little bit more coherent. Okay, next slide, please. So as you heard, rural utility services is actually a part of rural development. And in rural development, we serve not just the utilities, so not just electric, water and wastewater, landfills, and broadband, of course, but we also have our rural housing services. And so we work on multifamily housing, we work on housing construction, we do single-family housing, as well as under our rural business and cooperative services, which is a lot of funding for either product expansion, workforce development, cooperative development. We have 70 programs that really span the portfolio of what communities need, especially here in Alaska. And most of the time, our funding is loans, but we've had the opportunity through the bipartisan infrastructure law to see a lot more grant funding going into telecommunications and energy programs. So if you'll go to the next slide, please. We are really, really excited to announce that USDA Rural Development, just in the telecoms program, just in the broadbands, and our telecom programs. So you'll see that we have the broadband technical assistance, we have community connect grants, distance learning and telemedicine, and our Reconnect awards. And we, since 2021 till today, have invested almost $500 million in Alaska and in projects that will serve Alaskans. And this is why the slideshow had to go up, because when we pulled these numbers last week and had an opportunity to see that, and I'm like, we are just a few $1,000s away from hitting that mark, hitting that $500 million, that $500 million that we are going to see impacting our communities. So if you'll go to the next slide, please. Thank you. These are, as we mentioned, the Distance Learning Telemedicine Awards that recently came out and we had an opportunity to announce today. And as you'll see, the grant for Annette Island School is $979,000 with a match of $146,000. Lake and Penn was $784,000, with a match of $100,000. And Inupiat Community of the Arctic Slope is $281,000, with a match of $43,000. If you'll go to the next slide, please. So I mentioned this already, but just to put it back up, Reggie, we reached out to him and we were able to get a quote, and I really appreciated getting to read this. He said, "We would like to extend our deepest gratitude to the USDA Rural Development for the Distance Learning and Telemedicine grant awarded to the North Slope Borough for FY22 and FY23. Says Reginald Santos, Director of Information Technology. Through this technology, we would have been able to not only provide critical instruction, but also preserve and share the rich Inupiaq culture and knowledge with our students through distance learning. And that really, I mean, to me as an Alaskan and my dedication to rural Alaska, I'm just so proud to be part of this story. And if you'll go to the next slide, please. We also wanted to highlight some of our projects across Alaska. So here in our Reconnect grant, so that's going to be helping to connect Alaska's most remote communities. Cordova Telecom received $25 million in 2019 to build a 230-mile microwave network and 17 miles of fiber, improving internet access to Yakutat. Jeremiah is here in the room, so if you guys have any questions about that project, and Natalie as well, I got to tour that with her, and I think that they're going to be touring, our USDA cohort will be touring it on Wednesday as well, where we actually see completed sites going up, and his service is up, and that's really great for Yakutat. Okay, so the award was important because it demonstrated that our program was a great funding opportunity. It provides flexibility for unique Alaskan project challenges and has a budget cap that supports high-cost infrastructure such as ground-lay fiber, submarine cable, and microwave towers, middle-mile solutions that connect Alaska's most fiber communities to high-speed internet service. So I think excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm feeling a little nervous, I guess, today. I brought my fiance, and usually I can speak to a crowd really easily, but for some reason having him in this room is kind of throwing me off my game. So thank you all so much for being patient with me. I'm like really nervous. Next slide, please. Let's get through this and save me from myself. So we wanted to also talk about a Reconnect Round 2 grant. This is, I think, one of the most exciting programs, and Natalie has really been a big part of this story. This ship has come up to help work on 4 different projects across Alaska, and she'll be speaking to it later as well. But so we were awarded, or AT&T was awarded $21.5 million in 2020 to install a submarine fiber optic cable on Prince of Wales Island. And with that, Prince of Wales Island, as you know, is 2,500 square miles, larger than the state of Delaware. And up until now, the approximate 6,000 residents have relied solely upon mountaintop microwave links for backhaul of telecommunication data, which has limited the levels of service possible. Maintaining mountaintop sites depends on helicopter-based access and refueling operations, and is challenged by severe weather conditions such as high winds and icing. This Sea-Link network will help fortify long-term economic and community stability on the Prince of Wales Island, where legacy industries such as timber and mining have been in decline, by improving local internet speeds, affordability, and reliability for Prince of Wales residents for decades into the future. AT&T will also utilize the network to enhance the regions it provides to other communities and support the activities of other service providers in the region. This submarine cable is a core component of regional fiber deployment project with $21.5 million grant from the USDA Rural Development Reconnect Program and approximately $7 million in private investment supplied by AT&T. Next slide, please. Community Connect, I had a really awesome opportunity to go down and visit this now completed construction. The overall objective of this program was to upgrade the backhaul, middle, and last mile facilities to provide broadband speeds to the remote community of Gustavus. Byte Network used rural development dollars to install a new tower and upgrade the backhaul lines to the internet, while replacing the wireless middle mile facilities to create an all-fiber last mile network. These changes are providing modern technology to provide a continuous, reliable, high-speed network to the 11 essential facilities, residents, and businesses within Gustavus. And this program is unique in the way that there's also a component of the program that you must have a public space for people to be able to come and use the new connection. So there are computers that are set up, or I think there is some sort of flexibility in that. But what I got to see in Gustavus when I had an opportunity to visit this project was that they had public places within the brand new community center that they had built, so that people who did not have access to the hardware would be able to come to a community center and to be able to access the internet from there. Next slide, please. So this, on our last slide, I just want to thank you, saying that really, it's all that you have done. We are a funding agency, but you all are doing the work. You're not only seeking the funding, but you're turning that funding into a reality for our communities. And what you're doing is bringing connection, safety, security, education, healthier lives, and access to industry and economic advancement that is unprecedented. And your work does not go unnoticed. You are appreciated, Anavasi, for all that you do, and for making this funding truly serve Alaska as you do every day. I appreciate your time. Thank you for your patience as I stumbled through this, and your grace. Some days we just aren't on our game. But I have some really amazing colleagues here in the room. I also want to introduce Josiah Griffin, who is here with us from USDA's Office of Tribal Relations. So he surprised me this morning, and he is a really, really great resource for y'all. I also want to mention that we have our main office, our state office is in Palmer. You heard about the other programs that we offer. We also have offices in Fairbanks, Kenai, and Sitka. Please excuse me. Please reach out. We are here to help you at rural development. Anabasi.